What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Wisco Madman, coming at ya with another reaction video. If you guys haven't already, please be sure to smash that like button down below, hit that sub, and flip the notifications over to all. So, your boy did the intro. Before we get into these Upchurch vlogs, I just kind of want to give you a quick update since I haven't done lives lately. We're finally getting back to normal. I'm able to make a few more videos for the time being, but I'm also going to be coming up on a move in which, not major as far as you guys are concerned, still be in Denver, metro, whatnot, just moving a little further west, a little closer to work and shit like that. So, that being said, I might be a little busy with that. I might be a little busy fixing up my car and different things. I'm finally getting back to normal. So if you see a drop in videos as far as the quantity, don't be surprised. And who knows, maybe I'll get into some more adventure videos and shit like that and actually start doing some of the other things that I've wanted to do with this channel now that I feel like I'm kind of getting financially caught up and whatnot and not fucking drowning like, you know, everybody felt like in 2020. So that being said, we checking out some Upchurch vlogs here. January 23, 2024 is what this one's titled. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump up in it.
Where did he go? He went to Egypt. I've taken many people to the actual bed that he slept in, which is still there in Egypt. It's a shrine.
Whoop, whoop. We're back to the Egypt videos.
Now. And he was there learning the Egyptian mysteries. And this is well known, well documented. I mean, that was an apocryphal text that was left out of the Bible.
What do they say? Don't judge a book by its cover. No, you should judge a book by its cover. This book makes you knowledgeable that only half of this book is true. You know why? It's holy. It has holes poked in it, so you don't understand all the words.
I mean, I already covered this part that, yeah, the Bible is missing a lot of various Gospels and books and Dead Sea Scrolls, and people say, yeah, those didn't fit. Well, it's also because human interference, everything else, which is a big reason why I don't follow Christianity anymore, and a big reason why I choose not to follow any religions. Isn't that I don't believe in God, but I just feel that humans have tampered with this idea of religion way too much, and there's no way anybody living on Earth truly ever could possibly have known anything in-depthly about God. God is something that we will probably maybe fully understand once we're dead and gone. But I don't believe living people really truly know everything about God and stuff like that. And my huge issue with like this book being holy and all that kind of crap is I believe it opens us up to manipulation when we listen to what other people's idea of God is. And I'm not talking about somebody just talking about their belief system, right? I'm talking about the people who pushed their belief system and feel the need for you to believe the same thing they believe. That's cultist shit. When you feel the need to push your beliefs on others.
Words.
He left there and went to Tibet to learn Reiki healing and Qigong and energy healing with his hands. And came down through India, learned the mystic arts. And then the Bible picks up at the age of 32, I called my son out of Egypt. That's what the Bible says. That's the loop that's missing out of there, 12 to 32. That chunk is missing out in the Gospel of the Holy 12. Again, he also had the Mason knowledge. Now, the thing...
With the previous thing being said about what I was saying about Bibles and everything else, I am fascinated by this shit, man. I truly am. Like, there's much to be learned about history through this stuff. And, you know, I have a friend from Egypt, not in Egypt, that has informed me about some things. And I won't go in depth on those in the video, but I guess what I'm getting at is when you learn about all these different things about, you know, how Egypt worked, and you learn about the ancient Sumerians, and you learn about Mesopotamia, and dude, there's just so much shit. And like Graham Hancock talking about Göbekli Tepe and listening to other people talk about Göbekli Tepe, and then to on top of that, listen to an entire episode on Joe Rogan where Graham Hancock was on there. A lot of people think he's super controversial. And Joe was mediating basically for another dude, I believe a professor from the University of Austin. I could be wrong though. I can't. I think he was a professor somewhere, and he basically to get grants, professors and their fucking research grants, and the fact that they don't give a fuck about the students or any of that shit. They just want the money. Anyway, besides the point, without sounding too biased against archaeology and traditional archaeology, it was hilarious to listen to that debate and hear this dude just be so offended by a suggestion of other stuff. Not, hey, you're wrong, bro. Like, hey, why don't we consider this, consider that, consider this and that and that and that. Why do you have such a fucking problem with it? What are you protecting? And that's the really interesting thing is, like, as he got probed about this, dude, they're so fucking offended if it doesn't go with their mainstream agenda or their idea of the world. And I find that hilarious. I know I'm on a huge rant here, but church started all this with getting into this. I find it hilarious that, or hilariously sad, truly, sick sense of humor, yeah, that people can't open their fucking minds. The fact that the world was round wasn't accepted for, like, what, fucking 100, 200,000 fucking years after it was presented. So I forgot what the fuck it was. I'm not pulling statistical evidence by any means, but I do remember the fact that the dude that originally suggested that the world was round was mocked and made fun of. And there's several examples of this throughout our history where people who discover things say them and then they're mocked. They're acted like they're crazy, and that's something that I'm worrying about with somebody like Grant Hancock. Is they're sitting here fucking mocking this dude. He might be onto something. He might be actually opening discoveries into more shit, more about history, us learning more, and the resistance of that tells me that we won't learn. And the fact that archaeology acts like opening your mind is dangerous. And when I say archaeology, I'm not talking about the study of archaeology. I mean, like, the mainstream, the traditional people of archaeology seem to have huge issues with Graham Hancock, and that's a fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird to resist knowledge, to resist learning things. So thank you, church, for opening us up to this kind of stuff, because this shit fascinates me.
The thing about knowledge is it can be used for good or it can be used for evil. You see, knowledge is just knowledge. If you have a gun and I have a car, and you're trained on how to use a gun appropriately, which you are, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you know how to use it, when to use it. Because your mind is clear. You're not going to use it on anybody just because you want to. You're actually trained to hit enemy targets or to save civilians, right?
I will mention something else on this note. He's sitting here saying if you have a car and I have a gun, or vice versa, I have a car and you have a gun and you train, and he's going more in depth of it. But what I want to point out is he's like, how did he say it? If you have a sane mind or if you're whatever. What's funny is we're so worried about guns and safe training and background checks and where's your mind at? Are you mentally healthy to have a gun? Why don't we do that with cars? And I'm not being super pro gun control, but it's hilarious how gun control advocates are so into guns, but we don't look at that with, like, driver's licenses and shit. You can kill people with a fucking car too. Like, probably more so. Just start mowing people down, and it's harder to take your ass down. Now, yes, a gun, you can aim, you can individually pick people off, yes. I get that. However, a car requires a lot less guidance. You aim at a crowd, and you can take however many people fit in front of the vehicle. You know, mowing people down. Like what was that? The Home Depot rental truck that happened. That I think they called it a terror attack or something like that. But the whole point is opening your mind, thinking a little differently. We don't talk about car control. We don't talk about, you know, hey, we need to change how driver's licenses work. We need to change how CDLs work. Just a thought.
Don't shoot civilians. I have a car. I have no training. I'm using ignorant knowledge, and I'm just angry. I can take my car, and I can kill people just by driving my car right down the side.
Oops, I said it first. My bad.
Sidewalk. I can wipe out a ton of people. And you could be walking on that same sidewalk with a gun, and you kill nobody. But you have the knowledge, and I don't. So just a little bit of a metaphor there. It's nothing to do with the knowledge. It has to do with how it's applied.
Oh, that was weird. I just had a thought about jumping into traffic. I don't want to. And I don't even, that thought doesn't.
I still need to watch this because this is on Rogan too, I think, where Luke Combs was on Rogan. I should probably pull this up and watch the whole thing so it's not just out of context, but I've seen this clip and it's like, what? Why would you say something like that, Luke?
Doesn't even affect me in any way. It just comes and goes. It's like a weird thought that's a symptom of my brain.
And so a lot of people have taken ancient wisdom and ancient knowledge when they discovered how powerful it was and how it could control masses of people and allow you to supersede them economically and everything else. And they decided to use it for darkness, for negativity, for power-hungry type struggles.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb.
Oh, this is kind of the lead up to Church pulling out some shit with Tom, which I get a lot of his point, but, you know, like, I don't know. The fact that people have such a problem with, oh, Tom's demonic and he's this and he's that, like, bruh. He's far from the first fucking person to use devil theme shit. Like, look at all your fucking classic rock type shit. Every last one of those motherfuckers used, like, devil type examples. So, Van Halen and, of course, Van Halen's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Poison, fucking Motley Crue, like, so those guys are all devil worshippers too? Because, I mean, there's a lot of shit you could pick out during that time, too. Just saying.
Pretty quick will make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left, take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose.
So we have a situation where, unfortunately, a lot of these secret societies, Skull and Crossbones and Illuminati and all these things that exist.
Oh, Skull and Crossbones is bad now, guys. Dude. Still fascinated by this kind of shit, but just, Jesus Christ.
They all stem from ancient mystery schools and then developed into these subordinate dark entities.
You tell me what's going on.
He says what he says and does what he does because he is proving to everybody that social media is so, let's jump on this and fucking trash it. Bro, the man he gets millions of views.
Millions.
Instantly. If he's in a beef with somebody, everybody knows about it. That's because, but what does Tom do? Tom stays to himself.
Yep.
Tom reads. Tom is smart. So when everybody's like, oh, yo, fuck this guy. He's so stupid with his pink braids and his ski mask. Well, guess what? You're talking shit about his pink braids and his ski mask.
Yep.
So he wins.
Oh, but even if you win, still everyone will lose.
Dark entities that are now running the planet with Thoth from the Emerald Tablets. He calls them the Dark Brothers.
Hey, Tom McDonald, you better get your notepad ready, son, because I'm coming for you. Then after I conquer your ass, I'm conquering everybody else that thinks they can't be.
What are you gonna do about it, Goldilocks?
Oh, shit. Church. Always funny with the shit. But, hey, man, like, on this note, I'm starting to get more of a picture, and I might still be off base. I have a lot more to catch up on this particular topic and what Church's views are. But what I will say is what I've seen to this point between Instagram, which I have been able to follow while this shit's happening, because I'm not waiting to react to it, and, you know, various opinions I've seen from reactors, different things. So I've gotten different feed, right? What I will say is it seems like, I won't say an attack, but having an open problem, presenting that you have an issue with a particular more mainstream agenda. Now, not saying, hey, you know, Wisco hasn't gone mainstream. Wisco's not like, oh my God, cheer for mainstream. No, they got plenty of fucking people cheering for him. What I am saying is, I don't know that I necessarily knock these guys. And that probably comes from the fact that I followed them on their way up. A perfect mainstream example of somebody who I followed on the way up was MGK, Machine Gun Kelly. I thought Kales was fucking dope. Still love watching his shit from time to time. I don't like watching his shit for the same reason that I used to. Used to feel like he spoke for me to an extent, right? There were things that he was saying in his raps that I could relate to. And he went to punk music for a while, which is hilarious how he switches to punk music for a little bit and plays around with that. And all of a sudden people say, see, he got chased out of rap. Bruh. Y'all are, like, so fucking quick to jump on some shit and just, you know, like, he quit rap. No, he didn't quit rap, you fucking idiot. Anyway, I know, I shouldn't say I know, but I'm pretty sure Church was a fan of Machine Gun Kelly too, so kind of understands a little bit of what I'm saying on that. But I guess my point is, so I liked following him up, and then he gets to mainstream, he gets to this other stuff, and I'm not following him the same way. And this is a dude who I tattooed his shit on my chest, like EST 1991 crossed out the 9-1, just like he did with the 1990, because I stood behind the idea of everyone standing together. And I kind of thought the ST tattoo was cool, like the established type concept. The little bit of entendre, you guys know I like my entendres. Anyway, I'm not ashamed that I got that tattooed on me. Even though I want tattoos to mean something to me, that still means something to me. It's just, I don't necessarily agree with everything he's been saying. Especially, like, he was kind of one of those people that would jump on the Black Lives Matter train and shit like that, which I wasn't a huge fan of. Not that I don't think Black Lives Matter, I just think that organization's fucked. But anyway, whole point being is people change over time. And even if I don't necessarily believe that Tom McDonald signed, I don't believe Adam Calhoun signed or any of that kind of stuff, right? Just like Jelly Roll didn't, I'm pretty sure, if I understand correctly, and listening to some of what Vic had to say about the industry, which I still don't agree with Vic and supporting labels and shit like that. I'm mostly anti-label for the most part. Still not quite on that train. But point is, Jelly Roll kind of like being with the distro deal is what I understand. You know, good for him. That doesn't mean I believe in everything Jelly Roll does. I think Jelly Roll's still stuck on old times a little bit. Especially when he's the kind of dude to just show up at some person's house. Those of you know. Yeah, there's shady shit that everybody does. I don't know that I really see what Tom does, what Adam has done, as necessarily shady. There's wrong things in what everybody does. Tom just made his money by jumping on a train that he knew he could use social media. And just like Church used that clip in this video, that's like, you know, I think he's very smart, is what Church said in that old clip that he pulled. Yeah, I think we can agree on that. Tom is very smart. Just like the fact that Tom pretty much didn't respond to you. Is what it is. I'm not saying I think Tom's better than you by any means, because I don't. What I am saying is I think for him, if I'm to try to see things from each person's side, I think Tom not responding to you was the smartest thing that Tom could do. I think you going after Tom was a smart thing for you. I think it was like we all got entertainment out of it, and you got to say what you believe. So from each person's position, I think a lot of good moves were done. Yeah. That being said, like, obviously this has been quite a rant. I enjoy Church's videos. I really do. I don't always agree with everything he says. But, you know, we don't always have to see... I can try to see his point of view, but I don't have to agree with his point of view, if that makes sense. And we can agree to disagree. There's nothing fucking wrong with that, you know? Some people may get offended by that. To each their own, man. Y'all like this reaction video, please be sure to smash that like button down below. Hit that sub, flip the notifications over to all. Thank you guys for commenting, sharing, subscribing, all those beautiful fucking things that I just mashed together. Be sure to check out Upchurch's page if you haven't already. And, yeah, I do really appreciate y'all listening to me go on and on and on and on if you're here to this point. Sorry for rambling so much. I was just trying to get a point across. So, appreciate y'all being here, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.